Good afternoon, good evening. This is Dr. Gail James, your trauma therapist, your trauma specialist. Welcome to From Trauma to Triumph. We are back again with another special episode. On this episode this evening, we would like to talk to you about what has been going on with your girl. So, I recently wrote a book, You Can Heal. There's the book and the workbook. And y'all, I became a number one bestseller again. You can find these books on Amazon. The name of the book is You Can Heal by Dr. Gail James. There is a book and a workbook. What this book does, it helps you to maneuver from trauma to triumph. It gives you tools, coping skills, and strategies to help you to lead in a healed place. A lot of us are walking around today and we are broken people. We are hurting people and we don't know our healers from our hurters. And that presents a big problem because here's the problem. Someone comes into your life and they desire to love you and love you unconditionally, but you don't know what true love is because you've never experienced it. So now you are self-sabotaging a good relationship because you're perceiving a healer as a hurter. And so you self-sabotage by looking for something to already be wrong when there's nothing wrong. You make things happen when there's nothing going on. You want to live in that evolution of drama and toxicity. And truth be told, for some of us, our norm is not normal. And I'm one of those people. I had to understand that my childhood growing up, it was my norm, but it was not normal. And for most of us that come through or have survived traumatic childhood experiences, we have to understand that the things that we experienced in our day-to-day life, that's not the norm. They are not normal. Child sexual abuse is not normal. Domestic violence is not normal. Verbal abuse is not normal. Physical violence is not normal. None of these things are normal, but for some of us, we think it's normal. So here's what happens. You end up growing up and you end up with someone who treats you the same way your dad treats your mom. And you're thinking, oh, it's okay. And my mom lived through it. My mom stayed married to him till he died. And she lived through it. And nothing was wrong. Something was wrong. She should not have been getting beaten. And so we have to learn to come out, to evolve, to change, to be the best authentic version of ourselves. When we don't heal, we affect and impact everyone we come in contact with. Everybody you come in contact with gets to experience a version of your unhealed, broken self. When you are healed and made whole, people are then allowed to experience that whole and healed version of you. And truth be told, we bleed on people that didn't cut us. That's what hurters do. Hurt people. So my goal in this book and this workbook is to teach you how to stop existing and start living. And when I say that, what I mean by that is to start living and stop existing. We live in this mindset of, oh, it's okay. He just hit me. He brought me flowers. He apologized. Oh, it's okay. Yeah, that's how my mom and them did me, but that's my family and I love them. And because I love them, I'm just, they're family. Family, blood is thicker than water. No. If it's toxic, it's toxic. And if it's toxic, you don't need to be around it. Bottom line, I have a lot of siblings. I refuse. If it's toxic, if you are going to interrupt my peace, you don't have space. I don't have space in my life for you. Here's what I tell my clients as a therapist. I tell my clients this. If you find yourself, because when you go to work or you run a business, in your everyday life, you're going to run into obstacles. You're going to run into people with bad attitudes, bad situations, difficulties, obstacles. You can't get around that because that's your bread and butter. That's how you eat. That's how you survive. But guess where you supposed to have peace at? In your house. And if when you done your entire day from 9 to 5 on somebody else's job or running your business, you can't come home and find peace, then Houston, we got a problem. Because if I can't find peace nowhere else, I ought to find it in my house. Because I'm paying a mortgage there. And I should at least be able to come home and have some peace. And if I can't have peace, ain't nobody gonna have peace because somebody gonna be leaving. You have to love yourself enough to know what you deserve and know what you're worth. See, when we don't know our self-worth, we give ourselves away. We discount ourselves. When you know what you're worth and what you deserve, you demand more, you expect more, and you wouldn't settle for less. So the You Can Heal book and workbook, that's what it helps you through. It talks about forgiveness. That was one of the biggest things in my situation because it was my mom and it was my siblings. And yes, they're family, but I needed to forgive because the forgiveness wasn't for them, it was for me. And the craziest part is I had to forgive for an apology I never get. I never got an apology, but I forgive in spite of because I did not want to be bound and held to that toxicity. Because when you choose to not forgive, what happens is that person that you have the unforgiveness to, they're living their best lives, and you are miserable and dying on the inside. So who you gonna choose? You or them? And I'm going to choose me every day, all day. So I speak about forgiveness in the book. I speak about faith because faith was my anchor. I don't think I could have survived all that I've been through had I not have faith in my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. It just was what it was. I know without a shadow of a doubt that if he was not in my life, I would not be here today. I would have been strung out on drugs, dead somewhere. It been crazy. So I speak about things that can help you to get you to the healed version of yourself. But I also in the workbook give you tools and skills and strategies that can help you see what healing looks like. You journal, but you don't only journal. There's different things like art therapy, music therapy, meditation, prayer, fasting, you name it, that you can do to get you to a place of healing. When you are healed, your perspective of the world is different. Your outlook is different. You are not always, you become optimistic. You know, when you've been through the kind of trauma, that kind of intensive trauma, you live under a microscope of nothing is going to work out. Everything is going to fail. When you get to the healed version of yourself, baby, you feel like you can fly to the sky and you really believe in your heart of hearts that you can do that. And that's what I want for each and every reader. I want you to get to the point to where you understand that you can do anything you put your mind to. Anything. It's limitless. So we have the book coming out, but we also have a retreat. And so the retreat is named She Leads Heal Retreat. The retreat is taking place April 4th to the 6th in Jacksonville, Florida, on Jacksonville Beach. And we have a special segment from Friday at 3 p.m. to Saturday at 12 noon that will be in the conference center. But the rest of it will be very intimate. Your rooms are included. Your book and your workbook is included. Breakfast and dinner catered is included. There are also swag bags, massages. You get to really dive into that inner person and look yourself in the mirror and see, work through some of the things that you see, because none of us are perfect. But where I want you to get to is get to where you love yourself, flaws and all. We all have flaws, but some of us don't know how to love ourselves beyond those flaws. We can be our worst critic. And so that is what my goal is. So it's the She Leads Healed Retreat. If you want information on that, you can go to my website. You can email me at drgailjames@gmail.com. And it's April 4th to the 6th. You can register. And we will be glad to have you. We are on this healing journey together. And my goal is to see you become the best authentic version of yourself. So let's talk about this week. Whew. So as I said, we hit number one bestseller. And I was featured at New York Times Square. That was profound. It was amazing. I think I was so in shock that I was not able. My girlfriend was like, look at the time. I couldn't. I was stuck. I was stuck. Um, Sometimes you do things and you achieve greatness and you achieve things that you never thought you would. And when the odds are stacked against you and the naysayers and the Debbie Downers, even though you don't believe them, you just see it as far off. But that was profound. And I think my father not being here was the biggest part for me because he was my biggest supporter. And so I miss my daddy because he would have been shouting from the mountaintops. Um, but it was an amazing experience to be featured in Times Square. I'm just a little old brown girl from the U.S. Virgin Islands, y'all, St. Thomas. I am a little brown girl from St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands. And I just give all praise, honor, and glory to God for what He has done, what He is doing, and what He's continuing to do in my life. My goal, as I have set out on this journey, a lot of people hit me talk about from trauma to triumph because I understand that that is my purpose. And it is my purpose because I tell people all the time, whatever your greatest obstacle is in life, wherever in your life you have the most turmoil, that is your purpose. And it just seems like the depression, the attempted suicides, and it seems like those things would have been the end of me, but they were not. And so I am happy that God allowed me to live so that I could see days like this, that I can talk to people and help them heal and help them understand that they don't have to live broken. They don't have to live bound. They can be free and free indeed, but you have to want it. You have to be able, because here's the thing, you cannot change something you don't confront. If you don't confront it, it will never change. So the number one thing is to accept it and say, you know what? I have trauma. And there are some times that I respond or my behaviors directly reflect from that which I've experienced, those traumatic experiences. Okay, so now that you've identified it, what do you do next? Now you say, okay, so how do I change that? How do I fix that? How do I modify that? Whether that's counseling, whether that's prayer, whether that's meditation, whether that's journaling, whatever that is for you, you start taking those steps toward changing that so you can be better and not bitter. Because a lot of us are bound and broken and bruised and held up and chained because we are broken. We're broken. And if we would just stop for 1 minute and look in the mirror and decide to be fixed. I said fixed, yeah, to change, to amend, to make better. We would be so much better for it. A lot of us are places in life right now where we're asking God for a particular thing, and God is not doing that thing. And we're like, well, God, why are you moving for everybody else and you're not moving for me? Let me help you. You're not ready. There are certain things in life that you ask God for that God is not going to give you unless you have the character, the faith, the determination, the perseverance, the patience to keep it. God is an eternal God. He will never give you something that He's going to snatch away. But we want it and we want it now. But what we don't understand is we don't have the character, the faith, the perseverance, the patience, the determination to keep it. And so we're sitting there like, God, I see you blessing everybody else. Bless me. Take a look in the mirror. Do some self inventory. Do some self reflection. Look at self and stop pointing the finger at everybody else. I used to be that person. It was everybody else. But no, now it's a girl thing. I need to see where I have contributed to this. Because once you know better, you do better. That's the only way it's going to work. So I am on this journey from trauma to triumph, not just by myself, but to pull some of my sisters along so that they can heal too, so that we can be a set of healed, whole individuals, and we can lead heal, because there are many of us that are in businesses, that are pastors, that are leaders in the church, that are leaders in our workplace, that are parents, that are mothers, grandmothers, and we're leading broken. It hurts me to see generation from generation of parenting passed down, where you're cussing your child and you kept calling them B words and the F word and F word, but then you get mad if they cuss you back. Excuse me, you taught it to them. They're doing what you showed them. Oh, do as I say, don't do as I do. No, we got to do better. We have a generation coming up, and this generation coming up is broken. It's broken. Majority of them. And it's because of the way we're parenting. We are parenting like we are their friends. I am your mom before I am your friend. And I am going to tell you what's right. And after I tell you what's right, I'm still going to love you unconditionally. But I'm going to tell you what's right. And I'm going to do it in the most loving, respectful way. Because if I want you to respect me, I want to respect you. It goes both ways. So we have to watch what we do, because it all comes from some place. And there's a level of toxicity from generational parenting that trickles down. Even for some of us that, okay, we don't never question our mom. Everything our mom did was right. You know what? Everything my mom did was not right. Truth. That's truth. Did I ever disrespect her? No, never. But everything she did was not right. And if we could just own that, because I was raised in a household where I never heard I love you. I never heard I'm proud of you. I don't know what that was. But here's what I implemented. Since I know I didn't get it, I did it for my kids. I smothered them. I love you. I love you. I love you all day. I hugged them. I kissed them. I made sure they understood. And so that is the change I desire to see, is since we know what didn't work, let's make a change so that we can fix it. Because we have a generation coming up that they are going to be lost if we don't start doing the right thing. The cussing your parents out, the going and hanging out. Yeah, we did stuff when we were children. I remember there was girls used to go to school. They'll leave home with their skirts passing their knees, and by the time they get to the bus stop, the skirt will rolled up like 3 times so they could make it short. Listen, but by the time they got back to the house, they had their thing rolled back down because they were scared of mom. But there is no fear now. It's just, I'm going to call 911. Well, call 911. You might need them. You just might need them. You just might need them. But with all seriousness, we got to do better, because we have a generation coming up that cannot, the way we were brought up, we can't do the same thing. You know, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results. And a lot of us do that in life. We date the same kind of man, and then we're mad because we wonder why. Oh, why you keep doing? You keep picking the same person, just different body. That's why. You're attracted to that. Now go do some self-reflection and some self-inventory and find out, why are you attracted to such males? I did it. My dad, unfortunately, I love my daddy, but he did. He beat my mom. And I would find hardworking men, but they were women beaters. And I got the nerve enough to one day say to my dad, that daddy, they say the sins of the father fall on the child. And I think that's because I saw you beat my mama. And now, here's your precious little girl. and she's going through men that beating her. You it's the very thing. See, the mind is very tricky. The very thing we say we don't want to do, the very thing we say we don't want to be, we end up being that exact same person. I remember I would say I never wanted to be like my mom because my mom would beat viciously. And I remember one day I was scolding my daughter and I stopped midstream, like midstream. And I was like, I'm my mama. The same person I said I would never be like. So those are things, when I say self-reflection and self-awareness, those are the things I want you to look at so that you can see and know what changes need to take place. Because when you become the best version of yourself, you will give off that energy. When you walk into a room, you demand respect. When you walk into a room, you make a statement. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to be loud. You don't have to announce yourself. It will speak. Your body language speaks for you. The confidence you have in yourself. We don't have to be naked to and this new age thing where you gotta be naked and everybody you gotta pay. You ask somebody out for a date. Yeah, let's talk about that there because I saw that. You ask somebody out, somebody take you out on a date, and you finna bring your 4, 5, 6 children, and some of them bigger and taller than the man that's taking you on the date. Crazy, crazy. I think that's crazy. I'm telling you, I think that's crazy. We gotta do different. We gotta do different. So from trauma to triumph is my entire goal to help us heal as a collaborative set of powerful Black women that can speak excellence, that can display excellence, that can live excellence. We got it. We just don't do it. And so, how do we get from talking it to living it? And so, that is what from trauma to triumph is. And I just want to see individuals who have been through traumatic experiences stop existing and start living. Because when you start living and you're no longer existing, you become the best version of yourself. You know what your wants, your needs, your desires are, and you know what you want, and you won't settle for less. And that's self-confidence. And we need that because when we don't have that, we are lost. So go out, get the book. You Can Heal on Amazon by Dr. Gail James. It's on sale right now. It's a #1 bestseller, the book and the workbook. And you can also get From the Pit to the Palace by Dr. Gail James. It's a #1 bestseller. Also, it's on Amazon. And you can go register for the retreat. She Leads Heal. There will be prophetic impartation. There will be divine healing. There will be group counseling sessions. There will be individual counseling sessions. There will be massages. There will be a conference section. And we will do a lot of healing, bonding, and setting ourselves free. So look out for it from April 4th to the 6th. Email me at drgailjames@gmail.com and you can get more information. Until next time, see you. Tune in next time to From Trauma to Triumph. I am your host, Dr. Gail James. Have a good one.